in a minute. But now I just wanted to do something for WCW. Haven't seen any WCW superstars on my channel. Not too many. We've seen a couple of them, but not too many of them. Well, I was watching like this little documentary or whatever on like ECW and like how it went down and how it kind of went out of business. It was like Paul Heyman. Like after hearing everyone's story, like after you hear one person's story, it can be them just being selfish, you know. It could just be like, oh, you just selfish, you know, like you probably was just a bad wrestler, but no. Everybody said the same thing about Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman pretty much was no good. He knew the company was in trouble. He bailed out to WWE. He had a contract with WWE. They was paying him under the table money. Instead of him bringing all his talent to ECW, he was giving it to Vince McMahon. Like, it was just crazy. And that's the thing. Vince was cutting him a check, you know, like Vince was cutting him a check. Vince was cutting Paul Heyman a check, and that's what Paul Heyman did what Vince paid him to do, and that's was to go out and find talent, and it was just crazy. Then I watched like how New Jack was sitting up there talking about how the Dudley Boys stole their style. I actually liked the Dudley Boys' older style before they started wearing camouflage. I didn't even like the TV was so bad. Like if you watch TV back then, TV was so bad you would never even notice that New Jack used to wear camouflage. I never noticed that. He used to wear trash to me. I never noticed that New Jack, you know. You had camouflage. Like, oh, the Dudley Boys stole that, and, you know, the Dudley Boys had the little bomb after the beginning of their intro. Like the little, like the little, whatever it is, the bomb dropping. He's like, oh, they stole that from me because they knew when the fans used to hit that drop, they knew I was coming. Like, New Jack, I don't know. Maybe if everyone said he was good in ECW, I watched ECW. I didn't like him, like. The thing about ECW, like everybody said, like it was real, and that's exactly what it was. It was real. Like that's exactly what it was. It was real. ECW was real. Like New Jack was a real person. He was not playing a role as New Jack. That's who he was. I just can't believe like Paul Heyman was that dirty to everyone. Like he owed the people money, and he was just bailing out on. He was just making stories up. He reminded me of someone, like a guy I work for, but the guy wasn't that bad off of a lie. He used to lie, but I don't think like that. And the guy who I'm talking about really didn't lie about money that much. I'm sniffing, but I'm not sick. It's just, I just sneezed. Goldberg making his way down to the WCW. I didn't really look at too much about WCW like while I was there. I know why most time I watched a little bit like growing up. You know why they were failure. People said like it was paying Kevin Nash and a couple other wrestlers too much money to come over to the company. And besides, they still wasn't a failing company. Like that's the thing. They still wasn't failing because he didn't have to sell the company to Vince. He just got tired of it. And he said he just sold it because the ratings wasn't failing or nothing like that. Ladies and gentlemen, DDP.
And his opponent from the Jersey Shore, weighing in at 200.
Jersey Shore, I never knew he was from the damn Jersey Shore. Diamond Dallas Page. I remember when Diamond Dallas Page first broke out in WWE. I liked him a lot. I don't know much about his WCW days. I go back and watch a couple of films. I could pick a lot of wrestlers that I liked it more than Diamond Dallas Page in that company. Booker T was the biggest standout in that company to say, like, I think it was wrong for what they did to him. They gave him the WCW championship on the last night of the show. Like, it didn't even matter if he did win that championship. Like, oh yeah, you won the championship on the last show, but it doesn't count as anything. Everybody chanting DDP name, but I think that stuff was crazy, and I watched like the Dudley Boys shoot on certain subjects like that. I watched Dudley Boys also reply to like New Jack, say New Jack have something negative to say about everybody. And I know why the Dudley Boys don't have anything negative to say, because like they say like Paul Heyman was working for WWE when they even wasn't under contract, like when the Dudley Boys first left. When the Dudley Boys first left, Paul Heyman still was working for WWE, and like they was having problems with their money in Paul Heyman. Like the stuff, it was just crazy. Referee just fell down. Okay. Oh man, let me turn these things off. Like I hate when those things are on. I can't see anything. Yeah, but I think it's crazy how like and that totally made me look at Paul Heyman like totally different. Like maybe he did help like people like CM Punk, and maybe he did help like Brock Lesnar, but besides that, like Paul Heyman's like no good. Like Dudley Boy said, like they was waiting on money. Paul Heyman never even gave to him. New Jack was saying Paul Heyman owed the money. He made an excuse, and that sounded like something Paul Heyman to do. Paul Heyman to be like, oh well, they got somebody. Like he was crazy things about those stories. Like the guy New Jack was like, oh Paul Heyman called him and be like, Paul Heyman, you owe me $8,000. He said he sent the guy to the parking lot who only gave him $500 of the $8,000. And that's one thing I always try to look up too. I always try to look up how much ECW wrestlers was making. Like, how much was those guys even making to do the stuff that they did? And I know it wasn't enough. And just like the Dudley Boy said, WWE was paying you way more money. Like, you get way more money to work for WWE. But people were just dedicated to that company. People were just dedicated to... They were just dedicated to ECW. And for me, I think everybody wanted out of WCW. Like everybody wanted to stay in ECW, but everybody wanted out of WCW because like Nash and Hall came in and pretty much took over the company. They should have just named it like they should have just gave the company to Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan. That's how the company started going. Like, cause WCW remind me a lot back then. It remind me a lot of what the WWE is right now. Like WCW had all the time. They had Ultimate Warrior. They had Sting. They had them all. Anybody you name back then that was popping, they had them. And they just couldn't pull it together. And WWE took a couple of these guys, not all of them. They only took a couple of these guys and made them popping. And that's what WWE is right now. WWE have all this talent in the company and they're not using it. I mean, like, you got Daniel Bryan, the champion. We talking about somebody I had in the company since 2000 and 2010. You know, and y'all didn't really use him, man. He's the champion right now going into WrestleMania. Like, what's the point of you having these new, young, fresh, talented guys out there? That always questioned me. And you use around the Rousey. Like, you would rather bring somebody outside of the company than bring the person up in the company. And that's what Dudley Boys were talking about, too, about WWE. And WWE been that way because they were saying when they first came from ECW, like, WWE already had the Hardy Boys. They had Funaka, Taka. They had all the, like, they already had tag teams. You know, they had the Road Warriors, but they went on to WCW. But WWE took the Dudley Boys from ECW and like just made them top dogs quick. Like literally, like the Dudley Boys, you knew the Dudley Boys' name in the early 2000s, like just like that. Like if you in the early 2000s, you already knew who the Dudley Boys was. Like Adrian Christian didn't really have a big name. Like the Hardy Boys, they was popping at the time. They got leaders, so yes, they was popping. But like it was just crazy. Like me just watching that and how everything went down. Like, it totally changed the way I look at it. It totally changed the way I look at Paul Heyman. Because he seen the company was going nowhere. And that's what I think about stuff like that in real life. Like, see, Paul Heyman seen the company was going out of business. He seen it. Like, Paul Heyman seen that. He seen that was happening. He didn't even want to take his guys with him. I'm pretty sure he couldn't take them all with him. So he just ducked and ran. Like, that's pretty much what he did. He already had his contract with WWE. Vince was already paying him. He stood up there here like he lied to his guys. Like, oh no, Vince not paying me, blah, 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 this, that, another. Knowing good damn well Vince writing the check for him.
I just thought that was very interesting. And like New Jack's mad at the road. New Jack's like 56 years old in real life right now. And like he's mad at the road. He was talking about Jerry the King Lawler bashing ECW. I would bash another company too if I worked for another company that was, you know, some similar better. But also WWE also had like Rob Van Dam, WWE. Monday Night Raw had the Dudley Boys back at like, I don't know, it was like 94. It had to be like 94, 95 when Paul Heyman bought the company. Because before it was called ECW, it always was called ECW, but it was Eastern Championship Wrestling. Then when Paul Heyman bought it from the chairman, Paul Heyman was the CEO, he renamed the company to Extreme Championship Wrestling. It was called Eastern Championship Wrestling. Then he changed to Extreme Championship Wrestling. Like, I just think it's funny how everything went down. And WCW had, like I say, WCW had a lot of talent. Like, WCW didn't even use Booker T how they need to use him. Like, yes, he was tag team partner with his brother, but he also broke away, and they still didn't use him. They had they had Scott Hall and Nash running the company. They bring Ultimate Warrior in. Ultimate Warrior, I think that was his worst time ever in his career when he went to WCW, but him and Vince didn't agree on some things, so Ultimate Warrior walked away from WWE, and I don't know if he had regretted. I know I watched the DVD. I don't know if he actually regretted, but it's something as a fan I regret for Ultimate Warrior. I wish he would have stayed in WWE. Different from Macho Man. Macho Man Randy Savage made the right decision when he left WWE because of, I don't know what Vince was talking about or what Vince was even doing. Telling Macho Man he can't wrestle anymore. He'd rather for him to be an announcer. Macho Man said, I'm not doing it. Macho Man said, I want to wrestle, and he left. And Vince come on Monday night talking about
making his way to the ring from New York, weighing in at 256 pounds, the WCW World Heavyweight.
Okay, that was weird.
And his opponent from Miami, Florida, weighing in at
One thing they took away from this game was like the animations. Like, this is supposed to be Scott Hall. He got the NWO music, but he don't have his NWO clothes on. Like, that's supposed to be black and white. I don't know. I never liked it. Razor Ramon or Scott Hall as a wrestler. I just felt like it was shady. Kevin Nash was always the shady guy because of the thing he did with Mabel, aka Visitor Big Daddy V, won the Royal Rumble. Nash was the champion at the time, and he said he wasn't wrestling Mabel because he was a reckless wrestler. And at the time, I guess all of them and Vince was like friends or whatever, and I'm pretty sure they still are. So Vince like, okay, Mabel, the only person from King of the Ring who never got the championship shot because Nash said he wasn't wrestling him.
So I don't even make any sense. I don't know. A lot of shit, and like people don't understand about wrestling. Wrestling's like a real job. Like shit goes on your real job, it goes on in wrestling. Like the same shit that happens on your job day to day, whether you're working at Burger King, a grocery store, anywhere, it still happens in wrestling. But different. Like you have to go out and find a job that's similar to you. Like wrestlers, they go to another wrestling company, they'll start wrestling in independence. And Booker T, he always was on. New Jack was like, and New Jack said it. New Jack said, "I'm not." New Jack said, "If he's like, he said it before ECW even like went out of business. He said he wasn't going to WWF, he wasn't going to WCW, which I think WWE probably wouldn't even want New Jack. I wouldn't even wanted New Jack as a wrestler if I was Vince or anybody else. I wouldn't have wanted New Jack. New Jack was not a wrestler. Like if you go on YouTube. I mean, go and watch New Jack. Just go watch some film of New Jack and see what you want him wrestle. Like, how is he a wrestler? Same thing with like Public Enemy. Public Enemy came to ECW before the Dudley Boys. They was like there before the Dudley, so like they was number one. They was very, very good. So the Dudley Boys came and dominated ECW, and Public Enemy came back. Public Enemy came back to ECW, and the Dudley Boys said they were gonna fight. Okay, Paul Heyman came to the Dudleys and was like, "Hey, Public Enemy's coming back, or whatever. Yeah, would y'all mind doing a match with him?" Dudley Boy said, "Yeah, they was here before us. We don't mind doing a match with him, right?" So they go and do the match against Public Enemy. And, you know, Dudley Boys got the Dudley drop, the 3D, right? They got the Dudley drop, so they hit Public Enemy with a 3D. Boom, they get out the ring. He sits back up. I mean, he sits back up like nothing. I didn't even know what the hell was happening. I mean, he sits back up like nothing's freaking happening. And so Divine and Bubba goes back. They go back. Hold on, let me get out of this. Oh, I got road break. Okay, so they go back and beat him some more, right? And tell them to stay down. You know how they be talking in wrestling, like, yeah, stay down or whatever. So they get back up again. And so that was the last time Public Enemy was seen in ECW because they got fired. Then they go on to WWE. They face the Acolytes. That's Bradshaw and Farouk. They go and face them. And they start changing, and Bradshaw and them, you know, because you got to plan your match out. So I guess they plan the match out with Bradshaw and Farouk, and they tell you, oh, this is how the match going to go. And so Public Enemy agreed to it. Like, you know, the match comes on. Public Enemy start changing stuff up. They act like they're not really getting beat by Bradshaw and Farouk. Now, you can go watch this on YouTube, too. It's a match that takes place on Sunday Night Heat. It's the Acolytes versus Public Enemy. And the fucking APA beat the crap out of Public Enemy. And I think they got fired from there, too. But after Public Enemy ended up leaving WWE, who got hired there was the Dudley Boys. And the Dudley Boys had to face what you call them. The Dudley Boys had to go up against the Acolytes. And the Acolytes was not too happy about ECW guys coming over because they seen with Public Enemy made a bad night. And that's like if you work at a store, that's like if you worked at Walmart and you went to like work at Amazon warehouse, and the people from Walmart before you like was trash. They're not gonna really want to hire you, and no one's gonna work with you because people ruined it. And that's pretty much what it was. But Dudley Boys had a good match with the Acolytes. Like, they were supposed to come in the intro and hit them in the back with 2x4s. They didn't want to do it. They're like, we don't want to do that because it's real hard. Like, you know, if you try to hit somebody with a 2x4 in wrestling, like, you know, you have to like swing but hit them in the back with your hand instead of the 2x4. And the Dudley Boys didn't really want to do it, so they went up to Farouk, Ryan Simmons, and was like, hey, about this 2x4, we're not really sure about it. Farouk told them, you guys do know how to swing a 2x4, right? And oh yeah, we do. And so Bubba told Devon, yeah, we're gonna hit him with a 2x4, like hit him as hard as you can. And that's what they did. So they had a good match. So the Dudley Boys actually like did a little bit more than Public Enemy. But like a bunch of ECW wrestlers was sloppy. I see what a lot of people say. Like, I like them. Don't get me wrong. I like the couple of them. Like, you know, but someone was real sloppy, man. It's like a lot of the wrestling was sloppy. I ain't gonna say Sabu was pretty sloppy. Van Dam definitely. I don't think RVD belongs to ECW. That's my personal. I think he should have been in WCW. He had no business there. I think he was the most talented one in ECW. I think he really didn't belong there. When he came to WWE, I think he was right at home. Even when he went to like TNA and stuff, like, you know. And RVD's pretty old. I think he should retire, although he's not retired. Sabu's not even retired. And Sabu was old back in the 90s. That's the thing. I'm just happy that WWE like did something good with Booker T. Like, they took Booker T to the next level, and I think Booker T also took a couple other stars to like Rock was already good, Austin was already good, but who knew Booker T could go like toe to toe with them guys? Like, you know, like who knew like Booker T had the right things to say. He knew what to say. He knew what to do. Everything. So this kick by Booker T. 1, 2, 3. I just like watch half. I just like looked half of that stuff up, but I think that was like some crazy dudes about wrestling.
Like, I like what WWE's doing right now. Like, they're doing a little thing with Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey and Charlotte, which I really think Charlotte should be taken out of the picture. And like, I just think it's crazy. WWE's going back into WrestleMania. Like, you can go watch WrestleMania 35. You can watch it free on YouTube, the full show, right? Asuka and Ronda Rousey, not Ronda Rousey. Asuka and Charlotte had a match at WrestleMania 34. So, like, they had a match at WrestleMania 34, and they're also not going to be in the same match. Both of them going to pretty much headline WrestleMania in the women's division. I don't know what WWE seeing Asuka, but, like, they need to, like, I don't have a problem with her. She can't speak too much good English. Like, I don't know what they see. That's like Tajiri being a WWE champion back in the day. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, I just wish WWE did like some more stuff with the talent that they got. I just wish they did a little bit more with the talent they got. Pretty sure I'm gonna try to skip this statement. I don't know why in this game they put like statements while the wrestlers come out and talk. Like, it'll be good, but it's not like a story mode. So, like, then they don't really speak. You know, there's a bunch of words that you have to read that I'm not really too excited about. And yes, this is WCW, Nitro, ladies and germs. I don't know. Like, Bischoff was like the general manager, or I guess, or whatever, half owner of WCW. That's crazy how all those guys end up working for Vince. Like, you became a regular employee for Vince after you was a big dog like him. You became like nobody. That's like Bill Gates and like a couple other billionaires going together and like not becoming nothing. Okay, can we skip that promo? Yeah, skip that. I'll do the Sting match. I'll play a Sting. Like, you gotta just think about, like, what did all of it go wrong? And Sting meant he wasn't coming to WWE. Sting came to WWE when his body was no good. Like, Sting could hardly even wrestle when he came to WWE. Like, he spent all his glory years in WCW and most of half his career in TNA. And I think that's one of the reasons I used to watch TNA. I wasn't a fan to watch other, but they had TNA had, so you gotta look at TNA when they had Main Event Mafia, they had Booker T, they had all the top guys. Like, why wasn't TNA, like, they had a major deal they had with Spike TV. Then after, like, everyone left, the show went, like, downhill. AJ Styles, like, everyone said they should never let Samoa Joe and AJ Styles go. Like, that's like, TNA has nothing anymore. And they tried that crap with EC3. I don't like EC3 personally. I don't even think he's a good wrestler.
Making his way to the ring from Allentown, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 300.
The Nasty Boys was pretty cool as wrestlers. I like the Nasty Boys a little bit, but everybody remember Brian more than Terry. Yeah, after like the Owen Hart death, like, Sting stopped dropping from the ceiling, and although that's where he always came from. I think it would have been cool to watch Sting drop her from the ceiling, but I know like everybody would get because like the time and age of it, people get so offended by Sting dropping in from the ceiling. They'd be like, how dare you have Sting drop in from the ceiling? So I'm pretty sure that's why they got him walking to the ring. Like Sting didn't ever really walk to the ring. And you gotta think about it. Wrestlers who wear like paint on their face and who wear masks are also like, they are like, that's something that like they're legendary. Like you always remember the wrestlers who wore paint like paint or something like Ultimate Warrior, Sting, Rey Mysterio. Like there's a lot of guys who, you know, like you don't get me wrong, if you're a great wrestler, you remember for that too. But if you had a mask like Kane, you know, Mankind, you could go and name a couple people who had a mask or something, and like they'll pop up in your head like Vader. You know, you're like, oh, I know who that is, because you're thinking about the mask more than anything. I always wanted to see Sting in WWE. Like, we finally got him on the video games back in, what year was it, 2015? Yeah, 2015, 14. Like, we got Sting right after we got Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior, we got, like, it's crazy. Ultimate Warrior died and Sting came on the scene. Everybody wanted to see Sting and Undertaker at WrestleMania. Everybody wanted Sting to break the streak. I think that would have been even better because Sting's old, Sting's retired. Like, you let Roman Reigns beat Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell, bro? Like, I understand how to use Roman Reigns, but Brock Lesnar, out of all people, if they wanted Brock Lesnar to break the streak, he should have broke it back in 2003 at WrestleMania 19 instead of trying to do a moonsault, breaking his neck on Kurt Angle. Who did Undertaker fight that year? I forgot. It wasn't Ric Flair. He fought Ric Flair at 18. And 19, I think he fought two people at WrestleMania 19. I know Jericho fought Shawn Michaels. I don't know, like back in the day, WrestleMania, I liked it a lot. When I stopped liking WrestleMania, probably WrestleMania 28. I didn't like a WrestleMania after that. I don't care what they put on the card. I didn't like any match after WrestleMania 28. I liked it every single WrestleMania. I can tell you my favorite match from all of the WrestleManias. But like after like 29, I hated it. They put CM Punk up against. I just think that was stupid. I just really think that that was the stupidest WrestleMania in history. I think that was the stupid like storyline that was ever written in wrestling history. CM Punk, right? CM Punk had the title for like almost 2 years. John Cena and The Rock took on each other at WrestleMania 28. They say once in a lifetime, alright? Once in a lifetime means it only happened once, right? So, they go into the Royal Rumble. John Cena wins the Royal Rumble. The Rock defeats CM Punk for the championship. Who's facing John Cena at WrestleMania? The Rock. I thought it was once in a lifetime. Y'all did it again. Like, didn't y'all just mess the whole thing up? Y'all just messed. Okay, y'all just messed the whole damn thing up. Y'all just put CM Punk, y'all just messed this man whole reign up. Like, y'all messed his whole reign up. This man only been champion for 2 years. Y'all messed it up because y'all want to see John Cena versus The Rock again at WrestleMania. Nobody wants to fucking see that again. Like, WrestleMania 30 was okay, but like they like, I don't know. It's just too predictable for me. I really want to see who's going out of that John Cena and The Rock match at WrestleMania 28. I really was happy. Like, if Cena would have won, I'd have been happy. Rock would have won, I'd have been happy. So I wasn't really tripping on who won anyway. Like, for me, I wasn't even tripping on who won or lost. Like, I liked the both of the guys. It was like Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. A lot of people didn't get to witness Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania 18, but I did. That was a good match. And people was taking for granted all the matches Stone Cold and The Rock was having. Like, they thought, oh, that's going to happen forever. That shit went out the door quick. Scorpion Deadlock. I don't know how that move is supposed to, like, how that move, like, if you hold someone's neck and you drop their forehead backwards into the ground, yes, that hurt, but like the way Sting doing it, that doesn't hurt. Okay, well, that's gonna be it for me raving on in this video, this live stream about wrestling. But I thought I would share that, so that stuff was very interesting that I got. I never knew Paul Heyman was that type of guy. Like, I never really knew that. And like Vince doing business with him, Vince know what type of guy he is. Do I think he changed his ways? Maybe. And they asked the Dudley Boy, they're like, how you and Paul Heyman relationship? Like, how you and Paul Heyman relationship? And Dudley Boy was like, he was quiet for about, I'm gonna say about 15 minutes. They say, we don't have a problem. We don't have a problem with Paul. We see Paul. We just say, hey, Paul, how the kids doing? You know, how's the family? He'll say good. Blah blah blah. And that'll be the end of it. And that lets you know right there. That lets you know, like, that they're not really friends. You know. But that's also the end of this video.